Grim Reaper's underground. We hope you survive.
Oh, happy 4th of July, my demons, on a Friday. Little bit early today, aren't we? But we are kicking off metal 4th of July in epic fashion as we have an excellent tech death metal band by the name of Mindkiller. And Jean-Michel is here with us from the band to discuss their latest EP, and he comes to us all the way from the Netherlands, of all places. So this is very exciting, excellent EP called Technocratic War Machine. And if you are fans of like cattle decapitation, as well as, let me see here. We were just kind of talking about this Obscura, Death, Necrophagist, bands like that. You're definitely going to want to check this out. But before we get into all this madness, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break to our brothers at Villain Arts Tattoos. Check that shit out. That's right. Villain Arts Tattoos, the biggest and baddest tattoo convention all through the year, 12 months a year. They are bringing you the best tattoo artists as well as performers and vendors of all different kinds. And you'll even see the big bad devil daddy himself. I do have a couple more of those coming up. So if it's coming to your state, your city, your town, make sure you get y'all's asses down there and have a blast. All right, Jean-Michel, how are you doing? It's evening time for you, so how are you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm fine. Thank you, Ripper. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really fine. I'm from the Netherlands, born in France, and right now it's 7 p.m. So it's the beginning of the evening. It's not so hot, so we talked about that a little bit just earlier. Yep. But I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic. So what's like the difference that you see between, obviously being born in France, but now being in the Netherlands? Do you miss France or do you like the Netherlands better?
That's a complex question, but I live in the Netherlands since 23 years. So now I'm used to. Yes. I came in the Netherlands around, I was something like 30, 33. And because I met my wife in France and we decided to live in the Netherlands. And I love both lands. The two has, some advantages and some there is a little cultural difference, a little bit.
Sure.
But I like here a lot in the Netherlands.
Is it probably a little bit more laid back?
Yeah, it's different. There are some similarities, of course, but some differences sometimes you have to deal with. But I love here. It's a great country.
Yeah, it's always been one of the places that I hope, I have like a bucket list going of different countries I want to visit. So that one's definitely on my list.
You're welcome here if you want to come.
Well, and apparently, it has a great metal scene. I'm assuming for your project to come out of their Mindkiller, and what we're talking about today, Demons, is their latest EP, Technocratic War Machine. I mean, just looking at the cover screams badassery to me. Whoever created the artwork for that deserves like $1 million. I don't know. It
That's
looks
me.
amazing.
That's me.
That's you. Okay. Well,
That's me.
this fan. Damn it.
That's me. If you want to send a $1 million paycheck, yeah, I give you my bank account.
I mean,
No problem.
that really helps. Anyone that's maybe not have heard of your band. I'm always a big purveyor of art on album covers.
Yeah.
I come from the time when we used to pick bands based on the front covers of albums that you would find in what used to be record stores before all this internet stuff. And now it's the only way you can really get your music delivered. So really nice job on that. It says so much. It's got that, the fact that it's called, a Technocratic War Machine. It definitely feels technical, and just like your music as well. And it just all kind of encompasses there. So I really dig that. So it was a solo project founded in 2017. So what kind of made you decide to do this? Were you playing in a band previous to that and decided, hey, I want to do my own thing?
That I will try to answer to that. I play guitar since more than 35 years, something like that. So I start really young to play guitar. And I'm a little bit I think like you. I saw the thrash metal scene, the death metal scene rising. So all these bands from the beginning of the 80s started from, of course, Iron Maiden, then Metallica, Creator,
Back
Exodus,
when Metallica was
Slayer.
actually good.
It was really good, really good. Creator, Exodus, and then Entomb, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and yeah, the list goes on and goes on. And so I play guitar since a long time, and I had the first band with my brother a long time ago. It was between 95 and 2003, something like this. It was more a sort of hardcore, a little bit a la Fear Factory combined together. It was really interesting because we were two on that band, so I had a really close relationship with my brother, and I had to move. I moved to the Netherlands, so it was a little bit very complicated to continue to make music together. So we stopped the band. Was called Horde of Mammoth. So it was really heavy, and yeah, it was really heavy. And then I continued to of course to play guitar, to compose some riffs, and back to your question about and your observation about the front cover. My job is I am a professional artist. So for me,
wow, how cool!
So to combine. It's my job. It's my main activity. So to combine music and graphic design and illustration, it's in my DNA. So
definitely,
when I came in the Netherlands, I recorded lots of riffs and song structures. And in 2017, I say, okay, now I have to make an EP, an album from that, and I would like to start a band again. So it took a long time to finalize the project. Why? Because when you are alone, I compose the drum, I compose the guitar, the riffs, the structures, the solos. Everything was on my shoulder. which was not an easy task as you work full time as artist and as teacher, art teacher in between, you know. So it was really complex and really a little bit difficult uh, to to
balance
that band to start the band. And
Mm-hmm.
after a while, I recorded some songs, and I say, yeah, I miss some musician, I miss a drummer, I miss a singer. I miss that the interaction with real musicians because I like the way that you can compose on your own with a drum computer, a drum machine. It's
Which is
always
so
possible.
difficult to do, especially with this type of music.
No, it's not that complicated. It's much
Really?
more. No, it's not that complicated. And because I'm also a drummer, a very low level drummer, but I think in as a drum machine, you know, is when
Sure.
I compose a riff, I immediately think about the drum pattern. So for me, it's not very complicated to compose on a drum machine, but it took me a long time to find the right musicians.
Yes.
So I met Fabrice Godivre from France, and we started something like 3 years ago. I think 3 years ago we start the collaboration. I don't know exactly when, 3 4 years ago, but let's say new in the process. And then I met Yuri Kotnik from Slovenia
Hmm.
1 year ago. So it's brand new, you know. So and I sent all the composition, all the tracks to them, and they re-record them at home, and they send me the files, and I produce that with help of a sound engineer. And this
Hmm.
is the first EP of Mindkiller. So it took almost something like just 8 years to finalize this EP.
Woo!
Yeah, yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. It was a long process.
Well, I think you did the right thing because, especially in this type of music, you don't exactly, you want the drummer to sound like a machine, but then again, you want that human feel.
Yeah,
So by adding an actual drummer, which he fucking does an amazing job
he
on
did.
all of the songs. I mean, he's
He did.
very, very talented.
Yeah.
Um, I think really makes each of the songs come to life that much more. And then, of course, Yuri's voice, unholy shit. He sounds like he's come from the abyss.
That's true. That's a compliment. That's true.
Seriously,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
the gutturals are legendary, in my opinion.
Thank you
Uh,
so much. Thank you
my
so
hats
much. I
off to
appreciate that.
anybody that my hats off to anybody that can sing like this. They really have honed their craft, and it gives you the chills when that's how I know a vocalist is good. Whether it's like Peter Steele or Cannibal Corpse's
Yep,
George Fisher. You know, you can get that feeling like,
yep,
oh man, we are going on a ride,
yep.
and it's going to be, going down in flames.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit the meaning to find the right musician to be able to
Hmm.
combine this energy, and
Hmm.
because I compose very complex riffs, very very energetic, and it has to remain really powerful, energetic, and with a drum machine you can reach a certain point, but
Sure.
with the addition of Fabrice, it was something like much more organic, much more the symbiosis between us were immediately hearable, which is great, which is great. This kind of connection you cannot have like this, you know. And
Right.
when Yuri start to sing, it was like the perfect combination between the three of us. So I'm very lucky because it's Technocratic War Machine right now. So the four tracks are, I think, a very good indication about the vision I had in mind 8 years ago. And so the vision, the musical vision, the artistic vision. It's not only about the music, but like you said, it's also the packaging and the
Well, sure.
visuals, the layout, the graphic design, the logo. I did by myself. It's a combination, and of course, the last element, who's very very important, are the lyrics. The lyrics.
Yes.
What do you want to say? And because I'm also interested in lots of mythological stories from the Sumerian time, the Egyptian
Ooh.
time, like also the Gnostics theories. I love that a lot, and I try to make those stories like a science fiction. So it's very important for me to be able to combine all the three elements together.
Yes. Absolutely. And I can tell just by some of the titles that there was a little bit of occult, in there, such as Occult Matrix Control,
Yeah.
Requiem for the Gods Amongst Evils. Now, even though it's kind of like based on that, do you feel like it kind of relates to the crazy chaos of the world now?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Yes, yes, yes. That's a very interesting question, because of course, when you start to study the old mythology, the myth from the past. I don't want to name all the mythology, because it it will take
Oh,
forever.
it's
It
yeah,
will
it's
take
multiple.
forever. But people who are interested on that, you read those stories and you hear a sort of ancient voice, and you can feel that today. So all this chaos inside the stories from the past, you see that again, but in reality, in our world. So 20,005 and 25 in 25, sorry.
Mhm. Nope,
um,
I got you.
in our time, I see some similarities, some similarities with the old and ancient mythology, and I'm really interested in that. Why does it come again and again? It's like a
A
cycle,
cycle.
a cycle of the same error, the same events, and I try to figure out where does it come from. Is that human? Is that non-human? Who's in control? Who's in charge of that? Is that life itself? Repeat again and again and again. It can. Uh, are there some entities behind that? I just don't know. I don't give answers. I don't give answers. I It's just theory. It's
Well,
just
yeah, I mean, there's no way
speculation. It's
nobody
speculation.
could, but it's weird, and that's why I've always said, in education especially, history is, even though some kids probably find it boring or whatever, there's a lot of truth to why certain areas of the world are the way they are.
Yeah,
Since the dawn of time. There's
yeah, but
always somebody trying to take control of something else,
yeah,
and it constantly cycles, like every 100 years or so.
yeah,
There's
that's
certain
true.
areas, yeah, there's certain areas of the world that are just constantly being, taken over by some new regime of some sort.
Yeah,
So yeah, I feel like these songs can definitely kind of tell the tale, and maybe shed a little light on why certain things are happening as they are right now. So
yeah. There is always, like we said, the light at the end of the tunnel. You know that it's a cliche, but at the same time, yes, I read a lot of philosophy, history, mythology, sociology, so politic. I'm really interested to understand this world, and it's always a challenge to try to find the right, how can you say that? Can you put that on lyrics, which is sometimes a challenge to
Oh
get
yeah.
the right tone. You don't want to be like moralistic, like this is it. Listen to me. I have the answer, and I don't want to go that way. Yeah, but you know what I
There's
mean.
no ego there.
Yeah, it's for the ego. Or I don't want to go that into the satanism. I'm not a satanic guy. Even I like the stories. I can be interested on the story why we invent as spacey as something like God and Satan, the good and the evil. So that's why Requiem for the Gods amongst evil. It's just a sort of metaphor about
Right.
that.
Oh,
So
and let's be real about that. You know, Satan is in fact a man fabricated entity, because any real Satanist, such as myself, will tell you that it is an atheist belief. We don't believe in a horned, red-tailed, cloven hoof being that somehow lives in the crust of the earth. It's a fairy tale. But this world was kind of built on, we're the good ones, and if you don't do what we say, mind control,
yeah.
then you're gonna go to this bad place and you're gonna roast like a turkey on Thanksgiving. It's
it's it's yeah
it's
it's
kind of
very
crazy.
it's crazy. It's very controversial because of course man created idols.
Yep.
We love idols. We love stories.
Yep.
Our life is based on stories. The first thing you do when you meet a friend, hey, what have you done the last weeks? And tell me. So we are surrounded by stories, and in a story, everything can happen, because the way I will tell you my story, I can lead you to a point I want you to go,
Right.
and or not. I can say I tell my story neutral, but that's a little bit about Mindkiller. I'd like to understand why we are led to a certain path, and
Mhm.
who do that with what kind of methods they use to lead us to the situation now, and the situations before, all these cycles of wars, of
Mm.
domination,
Mhm.
with of course, and the end of the so with the light at the end of the tunnel, there is some soft moment of peace, um, where and when you can create some harmony, and which is it exists, and we cannot say it's only chaos, because it's not true. So I'd like to find a balance, a sort of subtle message, or a point of view whose balance.
Absolutely. And there's some positivity in that. So
Yeah,
many critics say, oh, metal has nothing to say. It's just people pissed off, at this or that. And it's like, well, if you really get to the core of certain bands, because obviously, in black metal, it's, oh, the dark lord is going to come and feast upon everyone's bones and all that stuff. Well, sure, that's scary. They're trying to make themselves be different, you know what I mean? Or maybe they've bought into, they actually think that, maybe with the help of some pharmaceuticals, or and it's kind of fun. It's like watching a horror movie. But then, like, that's one of the things I love about technical death metal bands in general that are coming out right now. There's so much more depth and like almost kind of like like you said, energy. There's some positivity in some of the messages. It's not all doom and gloom.
yeah,
And it's really has something to say, and people can really kind of relate to it, and that's something I don't think we've ever seen, because we're both children of the 80s,
yeah,
and metal at that time, it was either talking about real life shit, or it was all fantasy. And
It,
we love those bands. King
yes,
Diamond, he's one of my personal favorites since I was in short pants.
yeah. King Diamond is really a
Hell
good
of a
example
storyteller.
about fantasy horror. But I'd like to react when you read the lyrics from for example on Master of Puppets from Metallica, you
Yep.
have this song "Disposable Heroes." It's genius because it talks about the wars. It talks about the influence on politics, on people, on the masses. When you read some lyrics from And Justice for World, who are very critical about our society, when you
Mhm.
hear and read the lyrics from bands like Napalm Death,
Yep.
one of my heroes, I
They're
met
awesome.
them. I love them, but the lyrics are really deep and I think really interesting on that. So it's not only fantasy. King Diamond is a good example.
Yep.
Maybe it comes from a singer like Dio, Ronnie James Dio, singing
Yep.
about dragons and fairy tales. It was good. I love Dio. It's a really great band, and from the 80s, 70,
Yep.
80.
Mhm.
And King Diamond took that maybe from him and Kiss and took all these horror stories. I love that. I love that. And King Diamond is
Very theatrical guy. Oh no. He's a little frozen at the moment. That's okay. As soon as he comes back, we will continue our discussion. Because sometimes, when I have somebody from overseas, connections can get a little funky. So let's check out. We were talking about the technical aspect of the band. So I'm going to show you all out there in the Black Flame universe some of the making of this EP, which is just incredible. Check it out.
yeah.
Woo! Sorry, you had gotten frozen there. So I wanted to show everybody just a little bit out there about.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're kind of frozen. What I would do is back out and come back in.
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Good.
Hey, you're back.
Yes.
Yay.
Here we are.
Whenever something like that happens, that gives me a chance to show a video. And I wanted to show the technical riffing that you do with that particular piece. And woo wee, I don't know how you do it. My hat's off to any guitar player. I'm a drummer, a piano player, keyboardist. Those are my instruments. I can do that. But damn it, no, I don't know how your fingers do that shit. And it was really kind of cool, though, especially in that example, because you can hear so many different flavors. There was a little bit of the tremolo picking that is synonymous with black metal, and then you have just some like bombastic kind of like power riffs, oh man, that shit you can like stomp on the ground too. I love that stuff.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But it's a bit my way to compose riffs. I use lots of techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Even I don't want to compare me to other bands like Obscura, Necrophages, because my level is way below them. I don't have the I am really below them. What I've done with this particular tracks, Technocratic
Mm-hmm.
War Machine, um, it's basic stuff, but
It
uh,
doesn't feel basic to me.
yeah, but for a guitar player, it's basic stuff. Yeah, in fact, for me, I don't. But it's extremely energetic, and it's very fast. So you have to play very accurate to be able to play these riffs. It's a little bit complicated to combine this technicality together in one song, because I have to switch from a technique to another. Hammer on,
Mm-hmm.
pulling on, tapping, for example, palm muting. This kind of stuff are very difficult to combine together, and that's a little bit my natural way to compose riffs. And
Sure.
and sometimes it's when a riff, it's and oh yes, something really important for me, when I compose a riff or a song, I really like keys changes, key
Yep.
changes, which
Mm-hmm.
is important because it creates variations. When you hear the intro of Requiem for the Gods Amongst Evil, I composed an intro on the guitar, and it's something like 15 layers of guitars combined together, and it's a tribute to Mozart. So
Oh,
the
sure.
to, to Mozart. So I listen to him and say, "Hey, if I do this change, this key change on that moment, and I like that. I like so it's very technical in the sense of um, it's intricate part together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the way I compose. It come naturally for me, and sometimes I have to really take time to ameliorate a riff. I'm never satisfied. Sometimes it happened, and especially in technocratic war machines, there is a huge riff of a very heavy part. This one came in once, and I was so blown away. Something like, I have to record that. I have to record that shit
It's like the
before
light
it's
bulb goes
dead.
on. Yep.
It was something like, yes, really quick, really quick. So I start the computer, and I try to remember that riff. It was a very very difficult time for me.
That's something that me and Black Tar Superstar used to do when we're in the practice room, and one of the guys would play this riff. He was just like tuning up or just warming up or whatever, and I'll stop him like right in the middle and go, "Dude, that was the most badass riff
Yeah,
I've heard in a minute. Can you play that again?" And he's like, "What riff?"
something
I was
like
like,
this. Yeah,
I tried to sing it back to him, and he's like, "Oh, you mean like this?" And then suddenly he'll pull it back. I'll hit the record button on my phone, and I would do that like every single practice because you
yeah.
just want to lose that riff. So I get that completely, man.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose some great and cool riffs. Uh, um, and
Mortimer
that's why
says,
I always have my record, my how do you call that? My computer
"Yeah,
um,
yeah."
somewhere with a cable, with a jack and my guitar, and always ready to record some stuff.
Hell yeah. Mortimer says, "What's going on, Mortimer? Happy 4th. When pure creativity hits, you got to write it down quick." And that's pretty much any art medium, if you ask me, whether you're a writer or whatever. So,
Yeah,
but kind of like spawning back to the difference between the fantasy writing and really deep stuff. I was going to say, your examples were dead on, absolutely dead on. And I think during that time, let's say the government knew that they were talking real stuff, like real life. And they were afraid because metal was so popular during the 80s. They didn't want the young people to go, oh, hey, they're screwing us. You know what I mean? So it's the devil's music and blah blah blah. No, they were just talking about real life stuff, and I think that really did kind of anger the politicians and stuff like that. So
I agree with you. I agree with you because you have some conservative people, so there are, yes, of course, they can find AC/DC satanic, or horrible. I love AC/DC. I love that band, but for them it's too much. But you're probably right. How do you call that? The idea of metal from people who are not into metal is so cliche. It's so basic, and there is a part of rebellion in metal, because it was also a part of rebellion in the rock and roll during the 50s. And when you make a link between metal and rock and roll and blues and jazz and classical music, you see some links in between.
Oh yeah.
And it's very, when you are aware about that, and people can make some links between the past and finally metal and death metal. And when you see that this rebellion, the rebellion inside the genre itself, it can be confronting for people.
Oh yeah.
Confronting something like, I don't want to talk about the problems in the world. I don't want to talk about the occult. I don't want to talk about the ancient times, ancient rituals. But it can scare people. And it's something I really like about, because there's no taboo. There are no reasons to don't talk about that. And there are no reason. This is free expression. Even it's sometimes, and we can agree or disagree. For example, all these gore grind bands talking about killing people, eviscerate them, eat the brain, fuck them, fuck the dead. This kind it's okay. I'm not against, but it's much more. It's a way to, maybe it represents, something like a kind of freedom of speech. To go a little bit further, there are some really good bands in lands like in the Middle East or in Africa, but they get lots of troubles from the government and look. But I think it's very courageous from them to stand up for this. It doesn't matter if it's metal, speed metal, glam metal, black metal, or thrash of grindcore. Doesn't matter, but they stand for this freedom of speech, and we have to support them.
Oh, 1000%, man. I agree with that, because we do a show, which I'll be doing later on this evening, called Tracks of the Damned, and we highlight a lot of bands, like a lot of really good metal coming out of like the Balkans and, like you said, the Middle East. And it's like there was a black metal band, I believe, that came from I think it was Iran, and it was like against the law for them to even play the music, because what they're singing about is not what they want the country to listen to. So very courageous, and we do need to support those bands. 1000.
We do need that. Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. So I think this is a good point to show everybody out there in the Black Flame universe a first listen to a Mindkiller track. And I believe this one is the title track, Technocratic War Machine.
Okay, good.
And just a little bit, just a taste, because we want you all you addicts and demons out there to go check this out on Bandcamp, which we will talk about in a moment.
Thank you.
So here we go. World
Good.
premiere. If that doesn't just want to make you throw somebody through a window and smile and with glee.
This is the first track. This is Occult Matrix Control. So this is not
okay. I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter. But it's it's the opening track of the EP.
Yes. My bad.
Okay.
But every time I hear that track, I just this big evil shit-eating grin on my face. I'm
That's
just like,
good.
yes. This, I mean, it just, like I said, it's so powerful. It just makes you want to get up and just, I don't know, clean the whole house. Take your car apart, put it back together again. Now, one of my questions, because we did talk about Yuri's vocal ability. Wow, just a huge voice. Like in the metal community, what we're hearing a lot about right now is the power of Alex the Terrible. Shoot, I forget their names.
Slaughter to Prevail.
That's it, Slaughter to Prevail. And his voice is so powerful. You take the microphone away, you can hear him, 10, 15 rows back. Now, the power that I'm hearing out of Yuri is, I don't know, I think he's right up there, if you ask me. Now, was there any like vocal effect on there, or was that his raw voice?
It's the raw voice. There is no effect at all. In the drums, it's really pure raw energy. The guitar are not really processed. It's very natural.
Very clean.
Yes, I use a lot of plug-in. Okay, but there's little processing into it, and the voice are pure, raw. Exactly what you hear. It's Yuri naturally. And back to Alex Terrible from Slaughter to Prevail. I'm not that much, how do you call that, familiar to their music because it's deathcore. And I'm not really aware of deathcore. I don't listen to that. Even I think it's a great genre. Of course, it's new, but I'm not really familiar. I don't know a lot about them. But I heard his voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's very, very impressive. He has this very depth voice from the guts. I just don't know where does it come from the testicle, or I just don't know. I don't know.
He was given an interview because I'm always checking out little clips and stuff on YouTube because they have a lot of YouTube shorts. And he was explaining how he does it, and he literally did it. He's like, well, this thing you call, what do you call it? In his Russian voice. And I'm sitting here going, that's the Adam's apple, man. And then his guitarist, who is English, from I think he's from England. Because they were a band too that got put together from different countries, and
Yeah.
look at them now. You know what I'm saying? So the magic can happen if you got it. It will catch
Yeah,
fire.
yeah. This
Definitely
is
got
this is. But if I understood well, they are they started in 2010,
it. Yes.
something like this. So it's like now 15 years ago.
Yep.
So it's a little bit. I think they started as band immediately. For us, it's a little bit complicated and difficult because
Sure.
right now we have only one EP. We have only 4 tracks.
Great start.
We have never rehearsed together. So that's the point. So Mindkiller, and I am really honest about that. It's a virtual band at this time.
Right.
I've said that a lot in interviews because people ask me, but when can we see you guys on tour? We would like to have you on tour with that band or here in that land. I would love to do that, and I'm really honored and really happy and glad to hear that people wants to see us live,
Mhm.
which shouldn't be a problem because playing that is not that difficult. Even we have to rehearse,
Well,
but
sure.
but it's the way to how can we combine our private life.
It's tough.
I'm professional artist, so I exhibit my work a lot. I'm art teacher, so I teach art. Fabrice is also has also a job, and Yuri too. So to combine everything, I think we really need to get this opportunity from maybe a big band who say, "Wow, I love that. I love Mindkiller. I would like to have you on tour." And maybe think about this kind of possibility. So we discussed about that with Fabrice, the
Mhm.
drummer, and we said and you Yuri, of course, if we got a really nice offer from a band, a tour promoter, this kind of people, yeah, I would consider to make it live and Mind Killer live for the audience.
And that would be absolutely amazeballs, because this is kind of what metal needs right now. We need Mind Killer out
Oh,
there because it's it,
thank you,
it's
Ripper.
it's I'm telling you, I don't blow smoke up people's asses or anything like that. When I have a feeling, I hear something, and if it moves me, then it's fucking good. And I really think that this band can hang with a lot of the ones that are getting all the press and all the tours and all that stuff. So, and trust me, man, I get it. Being in different countries and having a life and all that stuff, it's a lot to try to balance, to try to make something like this happen. So, we're with our help here at Black Flame Entertainment, we're going to make sure that we promote everything that you guys are doing. We're going to share everything. So make sure you're tagging me in Facebook posts, Instagram posts, wherever the fuck. I want to make sure that this really gets seen. And that's why I jumped at the chance to have this interview.
Thank you
Because
so much,
you
Ripper. I
guys
really
really
appreciate that.
have
I really appreciate the support and the contact we have right now. It helps a lot. The EP is online since something like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like this. So it's brand new.
some.
Because with Alex from Fetzner Record, Death Record, Fetzner Death Record,
Yep.
we chat a bit, something like 2 months ago. I don't remember exactly when, but it was very quick. He said, "I would like to sign you. I
Yep.
like. We have to do this
That
EP."
sounds like him.
And it was fantastic. It was fantastic because he he took care about all this process of delivering an EP in an amount of time amazed me because it was maybe in 3 weeks he resolved everything. everything from okay, I need this, I need that, this is the interview, this is a plan, this is a communication plan, this is all the template for you to use for your graphic design. And we were per day like emailing maybe 10 times a day for small details. So it was very, very, very professional. And since the release of the EP, I got lots of interviews and review, and I'm really how do you call that in English? I'm really happy about that. I'm grateful for that. Grateful all this positive reaction. So maybe we will get the chance to get this big band or promoter who wants us on tour.
Yeah, I mean that's really kind of the thing to do, especially in the internet age that we're in. We're able to send our EPKs and everything else to just about any record company out there, like Nuclear Blast. I think you guys would fit super well on Nuclear Blast, or Century Media. That's the other big one.
Yeah. Yeah. There are really, yeah. It's always because all this labor, I know them, of course, since a long, long, long time. But those labors are machines.
They are.
This is huge machines. So there is lots of money involved, and all the bands are huge. They are able to have a big audience. And I back to the situation of Mindkiller. I say at this time the EP is a sort of how do you call that, promotional card.
Yes.
This card you give to people with your name on, and your
Yep.
address, your email,
Here's
your
a
phone
taste.
number, your email, and your website. So this is a little bit like this at this time. So I wanted to put Mindkiller online on the map in the death metal, in the extreme metal music genre. And the ideas behind was, I don't know how people will react, because you never know.
You never
If
know.
people will, you never know, because there are plenty of really good technical death metal bands. There are a lot actually on the market, and you never know. So people can say, "Yeah, I heard that a lot," and this is not so cool, or you never know. So, but I wanted to know that.
Well, I kind of feel sometimes when it comes to, tech death bands, sometimes they're too technical for their
Yeah,
own good, and their only audience is musicians
yeah,
instead of that fan that doesn't play an instrument or isn't in a band but fucking loves metal. And
yeah,
that's what I think you guys have. It's not so technical that it's going to assault the average listener's ears and be like, wait a minute, we're in 4/4, shit, now we're in 7/5, and then we're moving on to 12/16 and all this other stuff. So it's like, I think you guys are right in the pocket, as for like a crossover audience. Even like traditional death metal listeners would love this.
I thank you so much for this remark, because it's indeed something I always have in mind. When it's technical, I'm in search of musicality,
Yep.
and musicality
And groove.
means sometimes to put the technical stuff on the back and insert a part who remains technical but less technical than the other one, which make I try to insert some really mosh parts, like you want
Yeah.
to headbang, and those parts cannot be really technical. Even it's complicated to play because it's fast, it's
Well, sure.
very energetic, but the musicality is something like I'm always interested in. And when you take a look at all my heroes, all the bands I love, when you hear the first four Metallicas, you have some great melodies. You have some really great, powerful riffs. Take for instance two songs I really love. You have Angel of Death from Slayer,
Yep.
with this mosh part in the middle, the riff, the heavy part in the middle, which is genius. And you have some songs like a Fight Fire with Fire from Metallica, long time ago. So we were young, but when you hear all those really fast riffs, simple, combined with something a little bit more musical, technical, it's very, 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 very interesting for me, at least to listen. And this is something I always have in mind when I compose for Mindkiller.
Hell yeah. And it shows because, even that little example that we had played earlier, I'm just sitting, my head just naturally is like,
that's good.
It's just constant. It's I can't control it.
That's good. That's good. This is my intention. So I did my job. Good.
You did.
Good. Thank you.
For everybody out there in the Black Flame universe, I have put the link in the comments section. There's no excuse not to know where to go to listen to this EP, and that is the FetznerDeathRecords.bandcamp.com/album Mindkiller. That's where you want to go to hear these tracks and help support this band, because I think, once this all goes live, it's on Spotify, all that stuff, and of course, we're going to promote the hell out of it. I think it's going to catch fire. And one of the other things that I wanted to close with was, one way to do an experiment for you guys. You have a unique opportunity to where the best metal festivals are in Europe. They're everywhere. Bloodstock, Wacken Open Air, all those big festivals, and there's new ones constantly popping up. Do you think you guys might ever consider submitting to one of those festivals just to test on the crowd?
I would love to, but like I said, these are huge festivals.
They are.
And if I understand, well, you really have to be a signed band, but a big one, to be able to play there. And the logistic, and because if I understood well, some bands have to pay to be able to tour sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong, but if
I don't think for the smaller festivals.
We will see.
Smaller
we will
festivals.
See, we will see how it goes. But like I said, I'm really open to do that. And you never know if a promoter from this kind of huge festival hear from us. I say, hey, I'm here. I would consider it.
And that's something that the Medalist PR might be able to help with. So definitely utilize David in that way. He might be able to open a door for you. So
that would be great. That would be great.
It's great to have, some key people that are really trying to get the world to know these bands, such as yourself.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you, Medalist PR, for always bringing me the best in underground metal. And which is why we are here today. And thank you, Jean-Michel, for joining me on July 4th. Our Independence Day.
It was my pleasure.
And nothing says freedom more like metal.
Yes.
So that is why this is Metal July 4th all day today on Reapers Underground, Black Flame Entertainment. And don't forget, Demons, we have another metal band coming up. Actually, just what is known as a cosmic death metal band known as Inoculation, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, my old stomping grounds. Going to be joining us at 8 p.m. tonight, and then Tracks of the Damned at 9 p.m. to get all the latest and greatest in metal news. And celebrating Ozzy's final bow. That was one thing before we stop. Are you going to be watching the Back to the Beginning final Black Sabbath show?
It's a question of for me?
Yes.
Okay. The final show. I would love to watch it, of course, because Ozzy, Black Sabbath, they are the grandfather of all of us, and this is a huge event. I think you cannot miss that. It's impossible to miss that. And Tommy Iommi is such
riff master.
Is a riff master, of course. He invented literally the genre. He is one of the first who came with this a typical mechanical approach, the palm muting, this kind of stuff, and that because my father, by the way, and also my mother were both huge Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC. So it's not that I took that from them, and then I goes literally with the rising of heavy metal, the new wave of British heavy metal, like Judas Priest, like Iron Maiden, like Saxon, Motorheads, a Tiger of Pantang, and so on. So that's, I think it's back to Black Sabbath. It's there are huge references.
Absolutely. And for those of you out there in the Black Flame universe, you too can watch the final bow, the Back to the Beginning Black Sabbath final show tomorrow on via the internet. All you have to do is go to backtothebeginning.com and get your e-ticket so you can watch online as it happens. Thank you again, Jean-Michel, for joining us today. It has been a blast, and like I said, we will make sure to repost everything about your guys' progress, the progress on the EP, and anything upcoming for you. So for everyone that has shown up for you today, what is your lasting message for them?
At first, I'd like to really thank you again for the invitation, Ripper. I really appreciate that. All your kind words and analyze about my music, our music. I really appreciate that. I would like to say to all the audience, if you want if you are into mythology and combined with politics and the actual state of the world, if you want to bang your head on our riffs and our rhythm, take a look and go listen to our Bandcamp, and there is probably enough riffs for you to headbang for 2 hours in repeat. It's a cycle of riffs.
Rifflicious, as I always like to say.
Yes.
All righty. Well, you have an excellent, wonderful evening, sir. And I look forward to having you back on in the future as well. As you maybe, have a full-length album coming up, and we can definitely promote that as well. Cool. Videos, you name it, we will do it. All right. Thank you, everybody out there in the Black Flame universe, for joining us at noon, which is a little different for this devil, but that's okay. I love it, and we will always make sure to bring you the best in underground entertainment, and especially metal. So as the rest of our extravaganza is about to come upon you, have a few cold ones, maybe light some firecrackers, but always stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Reapers Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.